Okay, welcome to my little podcast here. This is Psychic Carla Barron. This is the 9 levels of intuition, which I've been studying all day. Somebody else wrote this, but I feel like this sort of captures each level as I know each level. Let me go ahead and turn this phone upside down. I forgot I had to do that. And we're going to begin. We're going to look at your intuition levels. This is not the same as your soul level. Okay, this is different. Intuition levels can be off grid from your soul level in instances where you need to learn a lesson or you need to get past certain trauma, or if you need to open up certain chakras and you need to sort of allow this energy to come in. So your soul level doesn't have to equal your intuition level, as far as what I've learned. I'm just going to go ahead and begin. Who's on here so far? Who wants to actually speak? Just let me know if you want to speak. And I'm going to try to get Carla in here today. She's one of my clients from a long time. I'm inviting you to speak, Carla. So this time you can get in here and let me know. Okay. All right. So let me know who's in here as a speaker. If you're on your phone, you should be able to allow the mic to come in here and speak on the podcast. All right, we're requesting. All right, I'm adding. All right, I should have you in here.
Carla? Hello?
All right. All right.
Carla?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah, it took a little bit, but I can hear you now.
Okay. I had my mic off because I'm a complete idiot. When I was adding you, I sort of turned my mic off. but here we are. I got your ass in here tonight. So
Oh my God.
I know it took so long. You couldn't get in here well, you're on your phone right now, right? That's where you're in?
I am.
Okay. Anyway,
Yes, I am.
this is a longtime client / friend of mine. Her name also happens to be Carla, so it's confusing. But actually, you're the only client I've ever really read with my name.
I know.
And she lives down the street, even.
I know.
And here's the best part.
Oh
We
my
have
God.
never met in person, but like we talk all the time. Oh my God, I have such a weird life. All right, so anyway, let's get to your soul level. I need to.
Okay, so I I looked at, I read everything, of course. And it's funny because in the past, I like before I even met you, I was always super, or I felt like I was anyway, very super intuitive with things. And I think the last couple years it's just kind of gone out the window. I think things, I don't think I just I never know what's going on, which is why I read so much. So I don't really know. I was looking at the soul or the levels. I would say I'm probably at, oh god, probably very low on the totem pole, like 2 or 3.
Well, let me just look at these for a second because I have them up. I saved it in a notepad.
Right.
I've got it on dark mode.
I know I'm trying to work with this Twitter thing, and you know me, I don't know how to do anything. So,
All right. Well, you can look at your my feed actually has the levels posted there, so you
yeah.
can look at
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
But as far as what I can see on yours, let me just look at level 1. Let me just surmise what I feel it is in like a very quick
Okay.
sort of clip. All right, so level 1 is basically feeling more of a physical realm.
Yeah.
It's more of you wake up and you sense danger, you know.
Yes.
It's more like, babies. Think of a baby,
Right.
and
Yeah.
it's more like how a baby would react. So level 1 is more about that. If you are in a on a dark path and somebody's approaching, that feeling of, oh my God, I have to get out of here, you know. Um,
Mhm.
it's pretty much just what a baby would feel. Level 2 is when you know how to make decisions based on your gut feelings. Okay. So
Correct.
I'm just gonna I'm trying to simplify this language here for everybody, kind of dumb it down. Not that everybody in here is dumb. You certainly aren't. But just, my impression of this is that level 2 is you make decisions based on those feelings, and it's a lot faster. Level 1, you're a baby, you don't know quite what to do with the feelings you were getting,
Mhm.
and you just you sense your surroundings. Level 2, you're deciding what to do with them. Level
Mhm.
3, this is where, okay, so you might be a level 3 because it's pretty much an empath, feeling others, making decisions based on others. That's totally you. Um,
Right.
that's part of the
Yeah.
deprogramming I'm trying to do. I'm trying to stop you. I'm
Yeah,
trying to
for sure.
I'm trying to stop you from hurting yourself anymore. Um, but I think level 3, I think you're right. I think level 3 is pretty much where you are because you still allow others to affect your decision-making processes way too much.
Correct.
And that's, empaths that can't control the empathic environment that they've placed themselves in. That's a problem. It
Mhm.
causes, I think even Tanya, you're on here. I think even you might have that same issue, um, where you just have the outside world, it's affecting you, it's impacting every decision you make, uh, how much sleep you're getting, you can't
Mhm.
eat. So Tanya, I think you might be in this group because you were asking me earlier. So I think level 3 is right about the sweet spot for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, all right, well, basically how to get out of that is set boundaries. Okay, that is so important for you to know. I mean, out of all the things I ever talked to you about, that's the most important thing. Set your boundaries, don't protect your field. That's good. Um, make sure, don't think that by doing so, it's chasing away all your opportunity or
Hmm.
or taking you off your path. All it's doing is securing your space. You're just protecting your space.
Right.
If you don't, you will have uh what people call psychic attacks, like when you're dreaming and you feel like you're being attacked by some sort of entity or
Well,
um,
I've been having quite a bit of that lately, actually.
okay,
So,
so talk to me. What I mean, can you say it? Because you
I mean,
haven't
I can't
discussed
even.
it. You haven't
Yeah,
discussed
no,
it.
we haven't. I mean, the last like week, my dreams have been crazy and very disturbing. And they'll wake me up and I'll be up for like an hour or two thinking about them, like people chasing me, or I'm running, or like cats everywhere, or just crazy, crazy stuff
Okay.
that
All
I
right.
just have no idea
Now let's go back.
what they
Let's go
mean.
back to the
Or,
cats. I
yeah,
want to go back to
yeah, I know,
what
right?
the
Like
hell
I
is
had like there were like 100 cats in one of my dreams, and I was like, oh my god. I mean, I love cats, but I don't want them chasing me.
okay. So,
Um,
well, first of all,
yeah.
usually cats are indicative. If you're dreaming of cats, um, I mean, are they a certain color or just the whole spectrum?
No, they're all
Okay.
different, like black and white, calico,
Okay.
tabbies.
All right.
They're all different
All
kinds of
right. Let me
cats.
let me just tell you what I sense that means in your particular situation. So I think that that means you have other beings of power, where they hold power in your world, which
Okay.
again opens up this thing about setting boundaries and protecting your field. That I'd say that that's the most important sentence that I have read to you in a long time.
Okay.
That's why you and I fight when we do readings.
Yeah. Yeah.
That right there. Not to air our stuff out in public like
I know. It just doesn't matter to me. I don't care.
okay, no. But all I'm saying, that's the most important thing that I could possibly say to you right now. Okay?
So
It,
setting boundaries. It's a boundary issue.
it's a boundary issue because if you don't do it, your power starts leaking out of your body in the form of illness, which you've been experiencing,
Yes.
disease, um,
Yes.
uh, like fear that penetrates to a level that you can't even access.
Hmm.
Okay. Uh, the inability to regain control.
Right.
And
Yeah.
you spiral because of this. And it's because you're
Hmm.
feeling so deeply about what everybody else is thinking, what everybody else is feeling, what everybody else is judging you with.
Right.
And you define yourself based on your feelings about your outside environment.
Hmm.
Everything you've ever told me for years, this makes so much sense. You are a level 3. Um, everything you've told me is based on a sense of not only losing control, but you've allowed so many openings to your aura and to every nerve ending in your body that now you're imploding. Now all the disease is entering in, anything that could possibly penetrate and deconstruct what you are. You've allowed that
Right.
to come in, all in the name of, oh, but I care about them. First of
Mhm.
all, caring about them is secondary to caring about yourself. You got to care about yourself first, or otherwise you're no good to them.
Right. No, you're right.
Well, you will have no positive experience coming from interacting with them, because during the night you're being attacked by all this, and during the day you're actually living it. You're actually giving it life.
Mhm.
So um
Yes. Correct.
and that last sentence there, that's kind of good. It's observe without absorbing. I don't think you've ever just observed and not absorbed the whole damn thing.
Mhm.
That's exactly why we fight,
Yep.
because I keep pushing you back, and you're like, no, you put me in a box. You're trying to, define me by certain things, and I've changed and I'm evolving and this and that. The thing is that you're affected by whatever it is, and you need to act out and need to tell me about it. So that's your empathic side just bleeding out again, instead of saying, okay, I'm going to watch now, and I'm going to trust the watching. I'm going to trust my observational skills, and I'm going to trust from this vantage point that everything will be okay.
Right. Yeah.
You have such a need to get your hands in there, and, like, if you're
Yeah.
not touching it, if you're not manipulating it, if you're not controlling it somehow, then it's not going to happen.
Mhm.
That's what I meant when I said you need to trust.
Okay. Okay.
I'm so glad you made it on here, because this was actually a really good one for you to step in on.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Um,
I still have
so
no idea how to work Twitter, but I'm trying.
I what are you talking about? I'm sitting here, I'm hosting this damn thing, and I'm turning off my microphone.
I'm like, how do I mute myself after this? No idea.
Oh my God. All right, so let's just take what we talked about when,
Yes.
when we read next, which will probably be
Okay.
tomorrow
Right.
or tonight.
Uh,
Just try to remember, observe without absorbing. That's just as good as set
okay.
boundaries.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you,
But the
Carla.
observing means, you think it means, oh, well, I'm being passive and no one will notice that. Actually, that's the loudest energy you could be, is being passive, because then you can observe, you can see what the environment, what kind of world you've stepped into. You can see what everybody's doing. If you're constantly talking at them, or trying to push it to fit your agenda,
Uh-huh.
like you do, you know,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
you can't be observing and doing that simultaneously. You
Okay.
can't do both.
Okay.
You have to pick one.
Okay.
And I highly suggest you pick the observe, because that's the only one. That's what I meant by patience with you.
You're right. Yeah, I know.
Patience, part of patience is sitting back and allowing yourself to just observe, to just look at what's happening instead of reacting to it all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got
And
it. Thank you. I
I
love
love
it.
you.
Thank
I
you.
love you dearly. All right. Thank
Okay, so I'm gonna try to mute myself. I don't know if I can, but I'm gonna try
Okay.
to so somebody else can talk.
All right, great. All right.
All right. Thank you, Carla.
You're welcome. All right, so who else do we have here? Just trying to see who else is. Yeah, I I turned my 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 speaker wasn't off, Michelle. My microphone was off because I was an idiot and I turned it off by accident. All right, so who else wants to get on here and just discern what level you might be? Tanya, are you on here? I think I added you, but if not, just send me a request. You might have to manually send me a request, I think, because I'm not sure it worked with Carla before. Oh, yay, she muted her mic. Yay. Okay. Um, let's see. We can approve Tanya. Yeah, we have to approve you guys now. So I have to add you. I can't add you all at the beginning like I was trying to before. Tanya.
Yep, I'm here.
Hey. So I'm going to add you
Hi.
guys one at a time. I think that's the only way it works. But
Okay.
so yeah, my mic is on now. The people on YouTube are probably laughing at me going, what the hell is she doing? Thinking she's hosting a podcast. Like, what? You know what? Thank God I have psychic skills because otherwise no one would ever listen to anything I have to say. All right. So I think you are also a level 3.
I think can they mix and match?
Well, which one? But that's what I think after reading this. But what number do you think you are?
I'm not sure about numbers. I can tell you. I mean, I get dreams, messages through dreams and songs, and like if I'm talking to my son trying to make a point about something,
Okay.
Joe comes on and boom, they're talking about the same thing.
So that's level 4.
Okay.
You know that list?
Also,
Did you read the list that I
yeah,
posted?
I
Okay.
did.
So level
Yep.
4, you could be like me where you're in between two of them.
I see auras too. I've seen a couple of times, not all the time,
Mhm.
but the first time I saw it, it was absolutely amazing. I went to this church, but it was a spiritual church, non-denominational,
Mhm.
and they gave you a reading right in the pew. It was really weird. Anybody knew, and I was kind of hesitant about it.
Like what? They just knelt down and
Yeah,
then started talking.
and then they rub your shoulders. It's like, nope, stay away
Oh
from
my
me. I don't
God.
like that stuff. But I did. They had a different speaker come in.
Um, that's classified under some sort of like abuse, isn't it?
So
Like, is that like some sort of like okay, anyway.
it was in Sarasota, Florida. So
Well, I don't care.
nothing backwoods.
Look, I don't care if it's in Florida or if it's in Canada. That's just wrong. You just don't start
I
touching people.
know. No, I'm from Massachusetts. You don't touch me. Don't come near me. Kind of thing. But they did have a speaker that she filled in for somebody, and she was talking, and all I could see was a glow totally around her. Really, really cool. I had never seen that before. And afterwards, I went up to her. I said, I felt strange. I said, you had a glow around you. And she goes, oh my God, you saw that? I said, yeah, I saw that. And I just thought it was really cool. And ever since then, I've seen it several other times. Not all the time, though.
Well, and that's
So,
level 6 according to this chart. So, you know, that's where you begin to see these things. But it sounds like you don't have full access to it yet. Like
yeah.
it comes in and out. So basically, I think you might be. I think okay. What I'm picking up psychically is your trauma from before is actually
Yeah.
hampering your ability to ascend to different levels of your intuition because you're afraid if you use it that you'll be harmed again.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes total sense. Yeah, I've been working on that the last couple of years. Last year, most intensely, I've really worked on myself, trying to rid myself, trying to look at it from the big picture kind of thing. You know, it's my daughter said, "Well, it's been so many years, but it doesn't work like that." You know, it's
Well,
literally embedded in you. You know,
it doesn't matter how long it's been. It
No.
matters whether or not you're willing to look at it. That's,
right.
you know what it is? I think that's the key right there. I think it's, one day you just realize, okay, I don't know, what is that noise?
I don't hear anything.
Yeah, I'm hearing like a feedback. Does somebody else have their microphone on? If you do, turn it off. Okay. So anyway, back to you. I think if you're willing to take a look at it
Mhm.
and you just realize that just by looking at it, that's not going to harm you.
Right.
All you're doing is you're looking at it and you're taking a good hard look at it for the first time. No one is expecting you to do anything immediately about that particular observation. You're facing it for the first time. There's
Right.
a level of shock. There's a level of trying to, like adjust your energy field so that you're not uncomfortable with it, but you still have to look at it in order to know what it is.
Right. And all these years, all the years I had gone nonstop. I was a single mother. I was the homeroom aide. I was everything with the kids, and we went everywhere and did everything, and I never dealt with it. And then my husband left, and my son was 4 months, and so that I never dealt with that either. And then I got sick with muscular dystrophy, and so I had to slow down. I didn't have a choice, and now now my kids are grown, so now I'm dealing with it. It's very difficult because you think that I would have back then, but I had to keep going. I
Well,
didn't have a
I'm
choice.
I'm glad you brought up that you're toggling between these different levels because I think that's what's happening. I think you feel that the lower levels are your safe space because
Right.
because if no one knows that you have this ability, then you won't be harmed.
Right.
And I think you're used to hiding, especially with
Very
that
much
past life we talked about where you
so.
were
Right.
in Nazi Germany.
Right.
So I honestly think that that's your defense mechanism is to back up to an earlier level and pretend you don't have the other ones.
Right. Do you think that from past lives, does something like trauma, PTSD, does that transfer to the now life? Is that possible, or
You can you bring it through. First of all, it's in your spiritual DNA, so you don't
okay?
forget all the scarring and all that. Sometimes you don't have a try to turn down your volume a little bit because I'm getting a feedback.
Okay.
Okay, because we can just talk regular here. Okay,
Okay.
all right, that's better. I'm still getting a feedback. Does everybody else hear feedback? It's okay. I'm getting like a tiny bit. So my sense of you going through this is if you can just remember that it comes with you, it's part of your spiritual DNA, but it doesn't mean that you have to allow it to become diseased. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
If you find that you can treat it like cancer cells, okay? Where cancer cells are in everyone's body.
Right.
They
Right.
just haven't been activated
Right.
in every single body.
Right.
And the ones that are activating it are the ones that haven't dealt with anything. They've pushed it down, they've suppressed it,
Exactly.
you know, and that's what past life trauma does when you bring it through to the next lifetime. Sometimes it appears marks or scars from the
Really?
life that you bring through to this one.
Wow.
And, you know, like your uh, especially if it's like the past life right uh, adjacent to this one, you will bring in, like, let's say you were hung around your throat, you could have like a telltale mark of a noose that was hanging around your neck.
Wow.
And some
Wow.
people have actually had that where there's a mark there. And
Wow.
it's because they can't allow it to go. I'm still getting awful feedback on your thing.
Jeez.
I'm just wondering if it's me. Maybe I should turn my volume down a little bit. All right. I turned mine down a little bit. Is that better? No,
Yeah, I don't hear anything.
I'm still hearing feedback, but you know, I can't do anything about it now. I'll fix it later. Like they say in the film industry, we'll fix it in post. All right. So anyway, part of what I'm seeing with you is not to be afraid to drag that stuff through, but don't allow it to command your decisions or to influence your current path. Just remember it's there. It was a building block creating who you are now.
Okay.
It's part of your personality, the fabric of your being. It's part of, you know, what's interwoven into your experiences from the past. So it just made you who you are now. That's all.
Okay.
It doesn't mean you have to relive that every day, you know.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
the people that do become diseased, or they have illness, or there's you know, they have, like, especially if it's a disease or an illness that's not common, or
Yeah, that's like fine.
or something that's immune system,
Yeah.
especially the immune system. Autoimmune diseases are very, very indicative of past life trauma that you refuse to look at. Look, you're just bringing it through. You're not reliving it. You're just
Right.
bringing it through. It defines who you are. It was part of where you came from. You know, like, my hometown was part of where I came from. It doesn't mean that I'm going to be like that for the rest of my life. It just means that that was part of the beginnings of me.
Right. Right.
Look at it like that and separate yourself.
Right.
Otherwise, you will be sick. Okay.
Yeah. I think it all started because a couple of years ago, my daughter wanted all of us to move back up to Mass, and I really had to take a hard look at things because that he's still up there, and it would have been where she wanted to live. It would have been Massachusetts. Everybody's close to each other, so it had been close, and so I really had to deal with that, and that's I think how it started. But what I do is I write. I write things that I've gone through, and then I look back and say, "Wow, I went through that, and I'm okay," Or I write poems, but I do that. I think it's really cathartic to do that because it really helps.
Look, that's indicative of level 4. So why don't you just keep at level 4? Why do you have to go back to level 3 all the time?
I don't
And,
know.
be
I
an
don't know.
empath? You know, you already know how to do level 4. You're already doing it.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's no reason to go backwards unless you need to master that in some way. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you haven't mastered your empathy because you keep leaving yourself open to a psychic attack, well,
Right.
then you need to go back and revisit that lesson a couple of times.
Okay.
But I think you're between. I
Okay.
think you're like me. I think you're between 3 and 4.
Okay.
And I think level 5, where you're starting to see, and level 6, where you're starting to hear things or you're starting to see colors or whatever. I
Mhm.
mean, like it said at the end of this little, where they describe everything, they're saying that, it's a matter of remembering.
Right. Right.
It's you're remembering what you used to be. You
Okay.
rise through these levels by remembering.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So we've all done all these before,
Okay.
but where you feel the most comfort is probably between 3 and 4.
Okay.
And
Okay.
you know what? Until you feel like you've mastered that,
Mhm.
I mean, chances are I've mastered number 9,
Mhm.
but I don't want to get off this list. And you know why?
Why?
Because I am so fascinated by learning things every single day that I can't imagine stopping that.
Right. Okay.
So I don't want to be at the end.
Right.
I'm going back to level 8 and 9, sort of the beginnings of 9, because I don't want to stop learning different angles of this and a different perspective that I might see, or just the tiniest little shred of knowledge that I could assimilate by, you know, re-engaging with that lesson one more time and maybe look at it from this angle, you know?
Okay.
And I don't want to get off this, so many people talk about getting off, they don't want to live anymore. They want to not reincarnate ever again. They're done with this whole thing. They're tired or whatever. I'm
Yeah.
I'm the opposite. It's like I want to come back and keep coming back. Like, I'm okay with this. Like I get excited every time I get to see a new angle of something I already knew.
Right. Right. That's true.
It
I,
just it enhances my knowledge. And
right.
when my knowledge enhances, I become activated.
Right.
My whole brain is on fire.
Mhm.
And for someone that does this type of work, I mean, it's almost like food for me. I mean, it's nourishment. I keep feeding it energy by introducing a new angle to something I already learned. And it just gives me another layer of understanding, of comprehension, a depth I didn't have before.
Very cool.
So we all have done every one of these before.
Hmm. Okay.
The reason that you're at certain levels right now is because you're just looking at it from a different angle. In
Okay.
this role that you're living now,
Mhm.
and remember, your soul level does not equal your level of intuition.
Okay.
Those two things can be, uh, you know, they're not mutually exclusive. So you're going to find yourself in a questioning yourself sometimes, when you're looking at the intuition.
Right.
It's a
Right.
hard thing to trust intuition,
Yeah.
and because you can't see it. And this is a very physical plane that we live on. Earth is very physical, and we're used to having all of our senses activated. And to be able to believe in something that you can't actually touch, see, feel, hear, taste, you're just not good with that. You're not comfortable with that.
Yeah. There have been times that in the past, like I bought for Christmas tickets to, I don't know, a baseball game or something with the kids, and it'd be like an hour away, and something I could not get off that chair. I could not go. I said, I'm so sorry, but we can't go. I don't know what it is. And sure enough, there was like the same time we would have been in, there was a pileup on the highway, stuff like
Mhm.
that. Something stops me sometimes, and I, I've learned just to listen, but it's tough because, it's,
Well, that's the level one.
yeah,
That's the sensing something's off,
yeah,
and that you shouldn't go there.
right,
That's survival. That is survival.
yeah,
And that's your most basic intuition.
right,
So you're not meant to shut that stuff off.
okay.
If I was afraid of every intuitive impulse that I've ever had, um, yeah, no. If I was afraid of every single one of them, or wasn't fascinated the way that I am,
yeah,
um, to me, it's like Disneyland. I mean, I love going in this, like,
Mhm.
and sometimes I can't sleep because I'm so excited to see the next thing I'm going to see, right?
Cool.
Um, so all I'm saying is, if you try to just physically stop that from happening and force it to stop,
Yeah, that's not good. No.
I guarantee you will either have headaches, migraines, stomach issues. Your nervous system will be completely in disarray. I mean,
Mhm.
you're going to throw yourself into sickness.
Right.
Why stop it? I mean, you don't have to say it out loud. No one has to hear you.
Right.
So all you have to do is just admit it to yourself,
Mhm.
or maybe somebody that you trust, right? So
Mhm.
you could say it to somebody that you trust, but you don't have to tell the whole world, oh, by the way, I'm having this feeling about this thing. And you just
Right.
say it to everybody.
Right.
Not everybody's your friend. Not everybody is trustworthy, as we know.
Mhm.
And, so there was, when you stopped yourself from going, it was because you had that level one gut instinct. You stopped yourself. You said, no, that's dangerous. I can't go. I don't know why I can't go. That's so level one, where you don't know why.
Right.
You don't know why. You have
Mhm.
no idea why. But for me, it's it's like worse, because I know why, and
Right.
I can't and I can't tell certain people, right?
Right. Oh yeah.
Like, I can see the whole thing, the whole fabric of what's about to unfold, and I have to shut my mouth, which is very hard for me to do, as you know. Um,
I wouldn't be able to do that. I don't know.
I have to actually shut up and not talk. Um, so, I mean, I'm holding on to all this information, and it's very hard for
Oh
me
gosh.
to pull back. I have to restrain myself, because I have to realize that true wisdom comes with knowing how to disseminate that information, and the timing has to be perfect.
Right.
It has to align with um, different levels, different dimensions, and you have to make sure that you're not disturbing the event itself by talking about it.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that's wow. That must be tough.
Well, it's tough because I want to tell people, hey, this is coming.
Right.
So what you'll catch me doing, here's how I figured a workaround, right?
Mhm.
So I tell you guys, okay, I'm sensing this, and this. I've actually seen a whole hell of a lot more than that.
Right.
But what I tell you is just the little teasers, right?
Mhm.
And I'm hoping to God that one of you or multiple people out there hear what I have to say, and then they take that thread and they go find out.
Gotcha.
So that it's not just me saying this, I'm trying to clue you guys in by giving you just the little teasers, the little breadcrumbs that I see. But
Okay.
I have to be honest, I do see a lot more than that.
Okay. I was going to ask you, remember I said this song or this kept coming, the person from the band Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah.
And and you said you saw somebody and it was a boy, a male. You said a male, and you didn't say too much. And I said, was it his health? And you said, yeah. Could that have been my past life? What happened with the boy?
Let me look.
And you said it's not my fault. Just know it wasn't my fault.
Oh, that was definitely a past life.
Okay.
It was definitely a past life, but you didn't cause the illness or the accident. What I saw was you were witness to be the foreman at this
right. But
I'm seeing it all now. I see you, you're in this factory and you're actually making bombs.
Yeah, you told me. But and then, when I thought about it, and before that you had told me about when I got that name of the singer, and I don't know why, and you said it in a male, and it wasn't my fault. I just connected to, I don't know if they're connected, but I just connected to what you told me about what happened to the boy,
Well, it's you know why you make those connections as humans? We make connections to certain songs, to certain books, to certain movies, or like written material, or like a phrase that somebody says, and or a place. A lot of times it's a location, and you can't get it out of your head, and it's this is how we come into the lifetime as souls. Well, we come in with agreements. When I talk about agreements, it's you come in karmically, you set up a certain number of agreements with your soul group, and then maybe 10 to 12 of these people are in your major soul group, and you set up these agreements with them. And the way that you recognize these people, you set it up that, okay, when I meet you in this next lifetime, I'm going to talk about this word or this topic, or there's a trigger phrase or a trigger location. When you're in that location, all of a sudden you have a memory.
Oh, okay.
And or you're eating some food, and that's the trigger. That was the agreed upon detail where both of you will have recognition of one another.
Okay.
That's what it can be. Anything that deals with the senses. Usually that's what we pick because we're in a physical plane here.
Oh, really cool.
There are other worlds that are completely just mental planes, and they don't talk with a voice. It's all telepathic.
Oh, wow.
And there's no physical, like a war or pain or suffering or any of that. It's all on one plane. It's all on a mental plane, and those beings examine certain lessons via that plane only. And it's fascinating to just know about other planes that exist simultaneously with ours.
Yeah.
And,
Wow.
it's something that I've studied a little bit of, but I actually want to start looking more at it, because I think my mind can actually wrap around that concept now.
Cool. That's very cool. Wow.
But if you find yourself connecting to a song because of this
Mm-hmm.
little boy and because of your guilt and because you felt responsible for his death,
Mm-hmm.
the song was hitting you at a certain vibrational rate. It hit a certain chord, a tone that resonated inside your being at your vibrational rate, and it's causing you to look at this hard now. You need to look at it now.
Okay.
And I think I told you that look at it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You did. Yeah.
Stop looking away.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But again, we've done all these levels, all of us, all these levels of intuition. It's just that where do we feel comfortable right now with the
Mm-hmm.
role? When I speak of
Yeah.
doing a role as a soul, you're doing, you come in, either inspirational role or you're a skeptical role or you're a stoic or, you are a healer, whatever the role is that you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you usually continue with that role until you cycle off. So it could be, up to 100 lifetimes
Oh wow.
before you're done with that role, before you go from, an infant soul and
Right.
then you progress through a mature soul and an old soul. And
Oh.
then you start again with a whole new role of something else, that you choose that you would like to explore.
Is that kind of like your purpose in life, or?
Your purpose in each life is going to resonate with the role you're in.
Okay.
So I've always been a person seeking truth. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I mean, I think that's part of my role is that I seek
Mm-hmm.
truth, but I also am a revolutionary.
Okay. How do you know what role you play? How do you determine
You
that?
generally have the same, that's why they say that your eyes look similar, like you have the same eyes through each lifetime, no
Really?
matter what body you have, the same feeling, that same, uh, it's almost like a visceral reaction that people have to your eyes.
Wow.
It's what's behind the eyes that they see, and that's how they recognize you as the same soul.
That's what that saying always means. The eyes are the windows to the soul, right?
And you will have that same type of tapestry, or painting behind the eyes. You have that same thing all during that entire set of lifetimes where you're examining that role.
Wow.
So I've been in roles that have been at the edge of history every single time.
Really?
It's like I purposely throw myself into lifetimes where massive historical changes are about to unfold.
You sure
Okay.
are in one now.
Yeah, and I find myself changing the rules.
Really?
And I'm part of, that's what I mean by I'm always a revolutionary of some sort.
Right.
I'm
Right.
always a person working in the underground of something.
Oh,
And
cool.
and I am helping to reshape things to where everything's in balance again.
Mm-hmm. Very cool.
So hopefully I'm doing okay this time. But I find myself gravitating towards those types of roles because they facilitate my lessons that I've set out to do each lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
And breaking the rules, hell yeah. That's I would be so bored if all I do is follow rules all the time. I mean, I am here to just rewrite the fabric of, you know,
Well, that's how change is made, for the best, for the good.
well, and I'm here to to just show you that it doesn't have to be the way that everybody else outlines that it has to be.
Right, right,
There are ways beyond it. I mean, not just to break the rules. I mean, it's not for that purpose, but it's to not put a ceiling on it.
right,
It
right,
is limitless. There is no limit to what I can conceive.
right.
So
Gotcha.
I may be strange, but I get it done. Okay.
I don't think you're strange.
I do. Sometimes I wake up and I go, "Oh my God, what the hell am I doing today?" But you know, it's I would be just so bored going through if I had to just, oh my God, the drudgery of just having, it just wasn't for me in any of these lifetimes.
Yeah.
So you know what? It's just, again, it's your perspective, how you look at it. And as
Right.
far as like easier ways to get through these levels,
Mhm.
I mean, you know, in fact, I have all this saved on a notepad.
Mhm.
I know what I'll do. I'll upload the file to my website, and then I'll give you guys the link to it, and then you guys can have these different levels
Oh,
of
thanks. Yeah.
intuition, and then this way you can see what the answer is as far as like what trick can I use to get myself out of this and maybe go to the next one.
Very cool. Thank you. Yeah.
Because you find yourself toggling back to the earlier, you know, level 1 because you
Mhm.
sense danger, but you don't want to name what that danger is,
Right,
right?
right, right,
Or level 2 where, you know, that's where you take action on something.
right.
You know, you find yourself acting on your knowledge.
Mhm. Okay.
And level 3 is probably the most, because you're reaching out and you're feeling everything around you and all the people around you and all the minds and all the souls and all the suffering and all the joy and all the everything, right?
Right.
And you're feeling all of that. But I'd say that that's probably one of the more paralyzing stages, is level 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because and notice at the end of level 3 it says observe without absorbing.
Right, right, right.
So if you can find yourself taking a step back and just look at it, just
Mhm.
watch, just
Yep.
observe. Stop feeling the need to put your hands and be tactile all over the damn thing. You know, just
Right.
pull back.
Mhm.
Then you
Yeah.
won't get sick. Then you'll ascend to the next level, and that's
Definitely
where
getting
you
better
start.
at that. Yeah.
The next level after that is all about symbols and seeing symbols and connections with symbols and numbers and sounds and songs
Yeah.
and you know, messages that come through things other than people talking to each other.
Right, right.
You know, things that come out of nowhere.
I with the disease I have, it's very rare, so doctors down here don't know. And so if they give me the wrong antibiotic, that could kill me. So I have to be very in tune to my body. So I got to be so in tune to it that I can tell whenever something's going to trigger me, whether it be a smell or a strong smell or a different type of food, anything like that. So I become more in tune mentally also because of it. And I don't take, I usually take a whole lot of medicine. I won't do that. I
Okay,
take essential oils.
but
That is
I'm going to
absolutely
Essential oils actually are really good for
Oh my
something like that
God.
because they can actually redirect your senses to
Oh yeah.
and
Yep.
redirect the focus of whatever it is that you're reacting to.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. Yep. They're amazing, and I mean for health, for mental, anything. So much. Just eucalyptus, because it affects my breathing muscles. So if I'm having a bad day, I have to be intubated. That's not going to be good. Eucalyptus.
And people and essential oils are just one of the elements. You could do things like that's why certain people use crystals and
Right. Yep.
they'll hold crystals or like I'm more in tune with sounds
Yeah.
and colors.
Yeah.
Like I'll see certain colors and like
Oh,
I'll
cool.
calm down. Like apparently when I was I can't even imagine being an infant or a baby, but okay, I was apparently. And so apparently that happened once. And um, I was, I said, well, what color did you paint the wall? And like apparent, it was yellow because and when I was sleeping as a baby, I couldn't sleep if there were any loud noises, like unexpected loud noises at it. Like they couldn't get me to go back to sleep for a long time.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
So very loud, shocking noises or very bright lights, I
Yeah.
couldn't be around it. Like I was not a good child. I I was I was I was not someone that could be controlled. But but then when I did fall asleep, like my dad was apparently touching my chest and he was bending down. He said, "Is she still alive?" Because my breathing was so shallow, and it
Oh
still is.
wow.
Like when I go to sleep, I'm like, you know, I'm transporting myself to other dimensions. So like I'm not really with my body.
Oh
So
wow.
I don't have to breathe very deeply when I'm sleeping. In fact, I breathe very shallow.
Really? Wow.
I'm gonna have to tell somebody about
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
before
You're gonna have to give you a mouth to mouth.
so they don't call emergency services. No, but I mean I breathe so shallow
Oh wow.
that you may think that I'm dead. And
Wow.
the temperature of my body is 10 degrees less around my
Wow.
skin. That's why I'm always cold.
Wow.
So, and that's why they would always put the sensors around me on these paranormal shows
Mm-hmm.
because I was I was different. So they would just stick this stuff around me and the sensors would go off
Oh
because
wow.
I was
Excuse me.
communicating and when you're communicating with other dimensions and other beings and those that have crossed over, the temperature will
That's
drop.
true. That's true. Oh wow.
So
And I
yeah,
just have a question for you also.
yeah, yeah.
On the show you used to do Haunting Evidence,
Hmm.
you did an episode. I cannot find that anywhere. And last week she kept coming to mind and kept coming to mind, and you did an episode about it. And I used to live in
John
it.
Benet Ramsey.
Nope. Cummings Pond.
Oh
Molly Bish.
yeah.
Molly
You know
Bish.
what? All right, here's
I
the
lived in
deal.
that town. I went through those woods.
All right, let me tell you what's going to happen.
Okay.
Very shortly, this should be public domain, and we're coming up on that like very soon here within the next year. I
Yeah.
will be digitizing my master reels here.
Oh, good. Good.
Like I made sure when I actually put together my own contract deal, my own writer,
Oh wow.
and I said, look, I need everything that we do. I need these sent to me on CD. I need everything that I've ever taped, any interview. That was always part of my deal.
Good
Um,
job. Yeah.
so I will digitize all of that and take out all the sound check stuff in the beginning and the color coding, and
Mhm.
then I'll upload it to the website. It should be okay. I mean, we're almost on the time where it becomes public domain anyway. So
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Because I don't know why she just popped in. And then my son said, "Didn't you see the commercial?" I said, "What commercial?" I guess, I don't know if it was Dateline, 60 Minutes, or somebody did something about it. And I said, "I didn't see that," but she popped in my head. But yeah,
yeah, her parents. God, why am I blanking on her name now?
Molly Bish.
Molly. Yeah,
Yeah.
Molly Bish.
Yeah.
Her parents actually came with us on the episode, and I remembered like they were just so grateful to
Oh,
have
God.
somebody taking a look at this. And I
Yeah.
remembered, walking around the area there, and like you remember certain things, like you said, you remember certain locations or a certain
Right.
way you were standing. And on
Right.
that episode, by the lake there, I remembered putting my arms outstretched. I'll upload it. I have them here. I even see them over there. I have all the CDs here. I have
Okay.
everything.
Yeah.
So don't worry. I will upload the whole. I don't know why they never offered it.
Yeah. I looked everywhere and I couldn't find that anywhere.
No,
I'm like, ah.
don't worry. I collect things because I have cancer rising. I'm a Scorpio, but I have cancer rising. So if you just ask, like when I was filming Haunting Evidence,
Hmm.
like all the producers have something, they know Carla has it. So they would all come over to me like, like Patrick would be on the show with his he would be eating Cheetos or something, and he would get Cheeto dust all over the SUV on the steering wheel. And like the producers always knew that I had stuff.
The wipes.
Like they go, Carla has it,
Yeah.
she'll have it, and sure enough, there wasn't one thing that they asked me for that I didn't have.
You're prepared.
I was ridiculously prepared. So,
Funny.
I find myself, um, but I am going to do that. In fact, within the next year. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So sooner than later though, because you know what? Some of the episodes have been up on YouTube for a while now.
Yeah. Some of them are. Yeah. Just not that one for some reason. I don't know.
You know what? I promise you, it is my promise to you and everybody else. I will have that up as soon as I move. When I move,
Hmm.
um, he agreed to be my tech guy. So, so
Oh,
he's
good.
among other things that I'm going to have him do for me. But he agreed to do my tech stuff. So I said, okay. So we're gonna upload the whole thing.
Oh,
So
great. Good. Okay.
anyway,
Thank you. I just had to
you're
ask.
welcome. I will make sure, and I think it'll be soon that I'm moving. So don't worry. That's one of
Okay.
the first things that I'll do. Okay,
Oh, good. Thank you so much.
not a problem. All right. So let's see who else we have in here. I'm going to have you mute your mic so I don't hear all your little noises. All right, who else is on here that needs speaking privileges and you want to ask? All right, we have Patrick, we have Michelle. All right, who's on here that needs to be added? Because I think you have to ask me. You have to ask me, you have to request, and then we'll look at your soul level and see what the story is. But you know what I mean? I'm glad we have like different ways of going through this list. So it's not like you're just one thing. You are toggling between these levels based on how comfortable you are at the moment. Let's say you have a setback because you have a traumatic experience. So you go back to earlier levels of intuition. because it's safer to do so and you feel like you won't be attacked. All right, hold on. I have to see who else wants to speak here. All right, Patrick. We found out that we have to add people one by one. So, all right, are you there? Okay, Patrick.
Hello, Carla.
Hey.
Hey,
So,
I've had so many technical difficulties tonight.
why?
Earlier you had requested for me to speak,
I,
so
you know what? I don't think we can do that because I tried it and I added like 7 people and you guys, okay, the way this works, everybody listen, this is how it works. You have to request one by one to speak. And then I can add you on one by one to speak. But if I try to add you all at the beginning, it doesn't work. And then it turned off my mic when I did it. So,
yes, when Carla was speaking.
yeah, I think that it's because I'm breaking Twitter is what I'm doing.
Earlier it had said this user's having technical difficulties, and then I had to refresh it.
Well, I turned off my mic by accident when I was adding people at the beginning. So I'm not going to do that anymore. We're going to do it just like we're doing now. We're going to add you guys one by one. You have to be on your phone to be a speaker on these things, on the spaces. So just know that you have to be on your phone, on that device, not on your laptop because it doesn't work, or on any iPad or anything. I think you said you got on your iPad, right?
I got on my Mac right now. I'm speaking to you through my MacBook because it wasn't working on my phone.
Interesting. So, you know what, they do that. They'll upgrade to the Android. I've noticed that, like with all the apps that I have, all the Apple devices get upgraded first, and we're put to last for some reason. I feel so neglected.
Like earlier, I was listening through my iPhone, but it wouldn't let me mute my mic, so I had to come through my MacBook.
Well, maybe that was the echo I was hearing. I was hearing like this echo coming through my phone. So if somebody else has their mic on while 2 other people are speaking, I was getting sort of like a little ghost effect there.
Oh, no! I was already on my Mac, but it was like early, like when you had requested
Yeah,
for
I'm
me
not
to
going to
speak.
do that anymore. We're just going to do it the way we're doing now, where I bring you guys in one at a time, and you have to request of me to speak, and then I add you. Because I can't do it like as a group. I tried in the beginning. I tried to add like seven different people all at the same time. Yeah. It totally freaked out when I was doing that. So we can't do that anymore. So what level do you think you are here on this intuition list?
Going based off the list, I'm gonna say 3.
Okay. Empath? Except I think you're between 3 and 4. I think you're between, and you know what I think? I think a lot of people are between. You know, it's just like shoe sizes where you're between sizes, right? So, you know, I think you toggle between level 3 and 4 just from having read you the other day.
Oh my goodness.
So I think you're experimenting with things in level 4.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that means that you might be ready, you know, like to just start venturing into level 4 a little bit, you know.
Because lately I've been having I've been seeing things, but it's on with my peripheral vision, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And I've
Well,
been
that's
having.
definitely part of level 4. So, seeing things that aren't really there, but there's definitely like an outline of a figure or energy
Yes.
field. There's an energy field that you can see with the naked eye. You can see it.
Mm-hmm.
So I would put you between 3 and 4. The thing is what I said before, like if you get scared or something happens traumatic, you're in an accident, God forbid, and then you have, you might revert back to level 1 because you feel safe,
Mm-hmm.
at level 1. So this is just what you can do on a regular basis and what you can sustain on a regular basis. That's the level we're talking about. I'm at level 8, between 8 and 9, just because number one, I'm expected to be at that level. Okay. And you guys are, counting on me being at that level, and I'm comfortable at that level. But here's the thing I try to do. I try to incorporate all the other levels in my level 8 and / level 9.
Mm-hmm.
I try to bring all those experiences and bring them forward into my level 8, my level 9 life every day. Because there are some times where I need to be an empath. There are some times where I need to act on my emotion
Mm-hmm.
and to stop analyzing things. And there are times where I need to have a gut instinct and get the hell out of a certain space because it's dangerous.
Yes.
Like you were in your backyard that one day.
Oh my God.
So all I'm saying is that sometimes you'll revert back to earlier levels because you already mastered those
Mm-hmm.
and you're bringing it forward. So again, if you feel comfortable at a certain level and you're ready to venture into level 4 now, instead of letting your nervous system kick into overdrive like you like to do, try to allow some of it to come in and just get the feel of it. Get the feel of level 4 here.
So I do have a question.
Yeah.
So with level 5 being cognate,
Clairvoyant or
yes,
claircognizance, the instant
yes,
knowing. Yeah.
there have been instances where I know things automatically before it even happens, or even the situation fully occurs.
This is you testing out higher levels just to see.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like where you do something new, like you jump off a cliff to go diving or something. Like you just do something different that challenges. It's a challenge to your spirit, to your soul. You're challenging yourself. So you find yourself dipping into level 5 intuition just to see what that is over there. You're not ready for full on level 5 yet, though.
Oh no,
Because full on level 5 is you question yourself way too much to be level 5 right now. Okay.
yes.
Let's just talk about that. All right. So you'll be ready for that. Maybe even in this lifetime, you might be ready. It depends on how fast you ascend and master. Ascending is mastering. Okay. So let's use that word. It just means you're mastering that level of intuition. So
Mm-hmm.
if you find yourself taking a peek at level 5, the preview, that means that you're not so afraid to ascend. It means that you're willing to get over your fears that you're having right now because of this empath thing. I think you're ready to leave level 3, to be honest. I think you're ready. I think you're ready. I think you're
Really?
I think you're like Tanya, because she was dipping into level 5 a little bit too, looking at level.
I know Tanya and Carla are literally on it. I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. So, just find yourself where, I don't want to say get out of your comfort zone, because I know people like to get comfortable and they like to get centered in that space that feels like home. But you know what? You should never get too comfortable in any one of these levels, because there's always excitement around the next door, right?
And
Just remember, bring the other experiences from the other levels with you. Bring all that forward with you as you're entering that next door. Don't leave it in the past. Don't think, oh, I mastered that. I don't have to bring that with me. Of course you do. That gets packed in your bag along with, all the other stuff. Bring it.
I feel like it only sharpens your experiences and your consciousness, in a sense.
Well, you tend to hover around the level that you are adept at. Okay. And I'm probably skilled at level 9, but I don't want to know everything about everything all the time. I'm still liking the learning part. So I'm back to level 8 sometimes, because I like revisiting level 8 and seeing what's over there. So that's just me, but everybody has a different pace at which they learn and they assimilate. So with you, I think you've been hovering around level 3 way too much. I'm just going to make that observation.
Yes, ma'am.
And I think you're ready for level 4, maybe even a touch of level 5. I think you're ready. I believe that you place these obstacles in your own path.
That is true. I do question myself a lot, and I don't know, I just naturally question myself just because I've always been like that since a wee little boy. And my grandmother always said, if you don't ask questions, you tend to stay.
Well, you stay anchored in whatever solid ground. But the thing is that try not to anchor yourself in any one of these. Try to master them, but also realize that once you master them, you're bringing the best of everything that you've mastered. You're bringing that forward into the next level. So that all comes with you. That is all packed in your bag. That all comes with you. And then you do that next level, because it's new, it's fresh, it's scary. Yes. It's exciting. Yes. It's all those things, but you're going to do it and you're going to be fine. And this empath thing, I told you, number 3 is the one I worry about the most with people, because I'm looking at this and I'm going, most of the people I read are hovering in level 3. Most of you guys are hovering in level 3. It's because so many empaths don't know how to shut it off. And they don't know how to observe without absorbing. I mean, read How to Ascend. Set boundaries that protect your field. Protect your field, for God's sake. Stop laying yourself open to everybody else's opinion. Then identify what's yours and what's theirs. You're identifying, you're not criticizing, you're not judging, you're just identifying. You're seeing where the boundaries are. And then you observe without absorbing all of it. You observe. That's the only way you're going to know what you're dealing with, is to step back and observe it. So level 3, I probably have the most clients this lifetime in level 3. I mean, and I'm not complaining. I mean, obviously, you know, it's how I made my income, but you know, it's also been the most challenging for me, because I just want to thrash you guys against the wall sometimes. I just want to be like, oh my God, can I shake you even harder now? You know, I don't know how to handle it sometimes, and that's where I've developed some patience. Okay, and I've learned how to not only be patient, but to allow you guys to make mistakes, and then I observe. I sit back and I observe how exactly you broke yourselves one more time. Yes, you did, and then I'm like, okay, see what you did there. We aren't going to do that again. We're going to try this now. How about we try this now? And it's the only way that I can get you guys to see what you're doing to yourselves. So level 3 is a tough one for me, because most of my clients reside in that level. You guys, it paralyzes pretty much all of you. So my suggestion is, because I feel you're ready, Patrick, I wouldn't tell you to dip into level 4 unless you were ready. You know, a little bit of level 5 sprinkled in there for what's to come.
You know what's so ironic is I'm reading level 4 and level 5.
Yeah.
When people ask, like friends or whatever, or coworkers ask me for advice or stuff for like situations and scenarios, I literally see it and I tell them, and they're like, "You're right," and I'm like, "Yeah, I was right. Yeah," but I right, like, "Oh, I was right," like, "Oh," you know, and I just, again, where it comes from, that, you know, camouflage to confidence, you know, I'm working on it, and I know that, like what you said, I'm basically ready to graduate from level 3 to 4.
Well, and
Yeah.
and remember, graduating doesn't mean you leave it in the dust. You bring it with you.
Oh no,
It
absolutely,
gets
absolutely
packed in
not.
that little bag, and you bring it with you. It's, you know, it's part of your it's part of your toolkit. You know, it's your tools.
I just hate how I could literally get the sense and see for others, but when it comes down to my situations, I'm like blind as a bat. I'm like, oh my god.
Well, and you know, I mean, it was hard for me at first to step away from myself when I had to see things for myself. But what I did was I found different tools and techniques to take me out of my own way long enough so I could see something that was going on, and then I would say, oh, okay, that was me doing that, and I need to not do that anymore. It was very hard to look in the mirror and do that for myself, but I found little tricks on how to get around that problem. So,
When my
no, go ahead.
when my grandmother was alive, she would always just tell me, you know, people like me, people like us, were very dedicated. She would always use the word dedicated and disciplined, and I could tell from like your reading and like the way you speak and that vernacular you have, you're very disciplined in your craft.
Well, it borders on insanity. But I find no, I mean,
That too,
I
yeah.
am probably clinically insane, you know, to some degree, but I try to rein that in, and then I use that to try to teach you guys how to get around certain things. But my way of teaching or reading people is probably unique compared to a lot of others, because
In your reading this past week,
yeah.
it was you scared the hell out of me within the first 5 minutes. I was like, oh my god.
Well, what I try to do is I try to see stuff that will help you guys like actually do something about it. Like, I'm not one of those psychics that just, you know, starts pontificating about this or that. Like, you know, I try not to talk above you guys, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I try not to. I try to be you know, almost like a I don't I don't dumb it down, but what I do is I try to say it in a way that will make sense to each one of you, you know, and say it
Mm-hmm.
so that you recognize the truth of what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost, and it's different from a lot of other psychics out there, because you read their books, you read all this stuff, and then most of that gets forgotten, doesn't it? Because people can't relate to it. They don't know how to apply that, you know, they don't know how to put that
Mm-hmm.
into practical application. I mean, when they talk practical magic, that's what that means. It means practical. You can use it to help you every day. And a lot of that stuff is so in the hierarchy of you know, it just goes past most people.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried to be the one to connect the dots for a lot of people, you know, and sort of sew together, you know, different edges so that you guys can easily grasp what I'm trying to say and comprehend and take it with you and actually use it. Because what's the purpose of me saying all this if you can't use it? I could go write books right now. I could write books about all my experiences on crime scenes and missing persons and do that whole thing and write books that you might read once and have on your bookshelf and it gets dusty and you'll never look at it again. Or I could do this where you can take these little nuggets of truth, these little pieces of wisdom, and you can actually propel yourselves through your lives and use it to ascend. That to me is a legacy. That right there is what I'm trying to do. So I don't know. I don't know if it's right, but it's how I'm doing it. So
I agree. I think, you know, every bit of feedback you've given me, I've been working on it, I've been using it, and I have been seeing the difference before and after.
well, and you know what? I mean, I couldn't ask for better feedback than that. It's not about the number of testimonials that come on my site. You obviously see I have hundreds over there. That I don't need one more testimonial. It's always good to have another one because it's a different angle of the same problem, and people get to see, you know, a new way to maybe get out of the trouble they're in or the space they're in, and it helps them. But it's more about leaving you guys with some sense of who you are, you know, your identity, like, and not losing yourselves in this mess that we live in, you know, that you actually have a role in it, that there's a purpose, it's been way hidden by all the stuff you've had to go through, but you know, it's that's where the real work is, and I'm not afraid to do the real work with you guys. So I just hope that most of this is getting through, you know. That's thank you. Okay, so I think I have Michelle on here, and Patrick, thank you. You've always been there all the time. Thank you.
Oh, Carla, I
Hi,
love you
Carla.
and you.
Hi, Patrick.
Hey,
Hi.
it's Michelle. Michelle. All right,
Hi,
Michelle.
guys.
So what level may you be in this little intuitive deal here? These 9 levels.
I thought I may be teetering between 2 and 3, but lately I've on my own, I've learned to sit back and observe. And this was before I even was listening to your podcast tonight. I was thinking about it, and this is what I've been doing on my own. So I think I've probably conquered number 3.
Okay, I'm looking. I would definitely put you at the end of level 3.
Yep, I
Yeah.
feel it. Mhm.
But I think you are at the end of it. I think you're right at that transition point.
Health-wise, I feel amazing. And I think it's because I sat back and observed and not felt everything, because I'm a very sensitive person. I cry in commercials that
Wow.
are very touching, or if people tell me things, I feel it deeply.
And I think you're at the end of level 3. I think the reason that I sense you're at the end of it is because it's no longer serving you to immerse yourself in level 3. Now you can take all those first 3 levels, bring
Mhm.
all 3 of them forward, and maybe start dipping into levels 4 and 5. You don't have to do just one level. You can do 4 and maybe look at what level 5 has to offer. You don't have to do these in order. I don't think you do.
Mhm.
I know they've listed them this way, but in my experience, I like to break the rules. So I like to jump around, you know. So
Mhm.
I think
Well,
you should take a look at just what else is out there that
I wanted to mention
yeah.
to you, listening to Patrick, lately I've been seeing things out of the corner of my eye, whether it's home or at work, and I look to see if something moved, or it's so weird. Out of the peripheral, like Patrick was mentioning,
Mm.
it's been happening lately, whether I'm at home or at work.
'Tis the season.
I'm telling you, it's like I had to do a double take. Like, did somebody just pass, or did I see something weird?
Well, and this is, you know, like that could even be dipping into level 6. But you know what you're doing is you're you're allowing your scope to widen.
Mhm.
You know, it's like
I'm testing the waters, huh?
yeah. Well, your scope, you know, the end of your scope, you're allowing it to expand. So when
Mhm.
that happens, you'll see other things popping in that you're not ready to define yet.
Right.
You're not ready to encounter yet,
Mhm.
but you know they're there and you'll get to them. As long as you're not afraid of them. That's the only thing that this exercise will ask of you, is that you're not afraid of it.
I'm not. That's just it. It's not that it's scaring me. It's just like I'm questioning myself. Did I see something just like out of the corner of my eye that I had to look again? That kind of thing. Nothing scary.
Well, and I think, you know, again, that it's dipping into level 6, where it's sort of a clairvoyance, but when I talk about the different spaces in my mind when I'm seeing something, like my psychic eye and whatever, I mean, it's not just between my two eyes, it's not just there. It's I feel like a little vertigo is happening, where I lose consciousness for about a second, but it's fun. Like I let it be, I let it be fun for myself, and and I allow myself to jump into that other sensation for a minute, and that's where I see all the colors. That's where I see the visions of things. That's where I can tell if I'm dreaming that I'm going to have a prophecy type vision. It switches to that mode where it's more enhanced. It's more lucid dreaming, where it's much more pronounced. It's much more colorful. It feels like it's vibey. Everything has a glow around it. It kind of looks like that. So when you're seeing things outside the corner of your eye, the peripheral scope there on the outside of your actual, the scope that you've opened for yourself, when it's outside the regular scope that you're viewing through, sense it first, then go back and try to give it shape. Don't try to do all the things all at once. That's the only thing. Don't overload your senses. Don't compound it with having to define it so much right at that moment. It'll define itself when you're ready to see it and ready to embrace whatever that is. But the fact that you realize that it's there, that's the first step of getting into some of that level 5 stuff. And remember, you don't have to do these in order. I always go out of order. I don't care what this list is for a reason, but I go out of order all the time. Remember, you've done all of these 9 levels of intuition before. You've done every single one of these before. But now you're going through it in a different role, different set of lifetimes that are called a role. You're experiencing that one role and you're doing it in different incarnations. So now you're coming back to learn it again, just a different way. Your application will be different now. The way,
I remember the tarot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I picked them up and I kind of used them as like a test for myself. Like I would shuffle them and everything, and then I would think of a question, and in my mind I'm thinking of an answer, and I use the cards to see if it matches what I was thinking. And sometimes it's like right on. It's scary.
I used to sort of do that to myself. I would just
I'm like testing myself to see if I could come up with what I think it's gonna, like I have my answer. Let me see if the cards match. And sometimes it's like I looked at my husband. I go, look at this, and he's like, wow.
And the thing is that you have to graduate from doing that. Okay, you've mastered that, but then you want to go beyond that exercise, and you want to let go of having to be right all the time.
Oh yeah,
because
I don't want to be right all the time. It's no fun.
You're very entertained by being right. Okay, you were right. Oh, I was right. I was right. Like 4 out of 5 times. But now I want you to release having to be right. Just release that. And now take a look at your cards and just see what the cards want to communicate to you. It'll be your language, your internal language that you have with your higher self, and
Mhm.
and all of a sudden it'll start speaking to you with different messages that will come through, because you no longer need to be right, and it's no longer entertaining. Now you're inviting your higher self to tell you things that you need to be informed about.
Gotcha. Mhm.
And this will tell you what to do next. I think you're ready for that exercise now.
This is so interesting. Wow.
Yeah, I think that's your next exercise. So
And
no,
I just love giving advice to people too. It's just I love to try and help people with their problems. I just like helping people. That's me.
well,
It's
and
weird.
you're just a joy to have here all the time, because you're our little, again, if you didn't take all those notes that you take, I was I was so surprised that you like had the date of everything, where I had
Well, I looked
made.
it up. I was interested. And I was like,
No, I
this is
know, but
wow.
you actually took notes better than I do, because I've got my I've got my hands full with so many things that I am trying to do all at the same time, and I don't have time to take the notes, to disseminate the information, to do all the
No,
readings, to try to figure out what the next podcast is going
way
to be.
before.
And you just did it because you are you. So thank you.
That's me. Hmm.
Thank you. Very,
You're welcome.
very helpful. And we talked about, let's talk about December 18th, because I did see that date on that other podcast. So I don't know
Yes,
what,
November 7th, you said it.
I know, but I was like, what the hell is going to happen on December 18th? Because that date wouldn't leave my mind on that podcast that morning, remember?
Hmm.
I can't remember which podcast it was. I think it was the one about, um, wasn't it one of the State of the Union, State of the World
Yes,
ones?
the potpourri, State of the
Yeah,
Union. Yeah.
yeah. It
Mhm.
was that last one. And I woke up, I saw that date, December 18th, and I didn't know what it meant. See, this is where I don't have to be right. Right? This
Mhm.
I graduated from that a long time ago.
Right.
I just knew that I had to take down that note, December 18th. I don't know what that means. I don't have to figure that out right then and there. You know, I can allow that to gel and to just organically come into vision. So I kept seeing December 18th, and I knew something profound was changing gears on that date. I
Well,
don't know
didn't
what it
he,
is
didn't
yet.
the
I
president
have
give
no
the
idea.
speech?
I haven't even had time to like look at the news or any. I don't know what happened.
Trump gave the speech, Orange Man, and he said a lot of things that were wrong.
We are entirely too disrespectful on this thing.
Well, that's the words you used with that
Yeah.
that
Okay.
that date.
Okay.
But
So what I didn't because I was out yesterday, remember, and so I didn't. I have no idea what happened.
yeah, that's the speech that he gave, screaming through the whole thing for about an hour.
Oh, lovely.
Uh, but he said everything's in good shape. The food's going down.
Uh-huh.
Inflation's no inflation.
Uh-huh.
We're in the best time. Yeah, we're very rich.
Oh,
I don't know what
are,
reality he's living in, but
are we?
not in my house.
Okay. Okay. I have no words. So so I just kept seeing that date, December 18th, and I said that months ago.
Hmm.
Remember?
And alluding to World War III, today
you
I saw that.
You said
Yeah.
September 17th, right? September
Uh,
17th was the day that I posted.
No, 11/7 was the December 18th that we discussed. We
So
were
what
talking
was
about on that.
so you wrote to me on the reply. You said something about
Yeah, did you
September.
see something or
What was September? Oh, North Korea.
North Korea?
North Korea was September 17th. I
Yes.
remember everything. I just have to put it together in my head. So I said something about North Korea on September 17th and something about that playing into things. All right. So you're the note taker. You're supposed to know what's going on here.
Oh, please.
Yeah.
I'm lucky I remember what I had for dinner.
Well,
Oh,
you're the court reporter here.
no.
So you take the notes of our meetings. Anyway, so I said something about that. I don't know, but December 18th, I kept seeing as a pivotal date in history, historical reference. I knew it was important. I still don't have time to actually look this up right now because I immediately had reading, so I didn't have time to look it up. I have no idea. I'm just, I am,
Well, you said, I can quote you. You said, Orange Man said something that he can't take back, and Saudis are a big player.
oh,
That's basically what you
that's what
said.
I said.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the Saudis.
Yep. They're a big player. They're taking the hit for something that some other country did in that respect. So I don't know. And now they're attacking Syria or for ISIS or something like that. Today I saw. I don't know. This is world's going crazy.
I just, all right, the general feeling during that prophecy was, and I'll tell you exactly how it felt to me, was that was the ignition point.
Right.
December 18th was when something got ignited and there's no turning back. That was the feel that I had when I had that vision. I couldn't stop thinking about that date in the morning, and I had to say it on the podcast because it was driving me out of my mind, so I had to say it. So the general feel of that date was that something got ignited. There's no turning back, and it was something large enough to bother me all day.
Mm-hmm.
But I get involved in my readings and whatever, so I get onto other things, but I had to say it right away because I remembered it.
Well, you must be correct, because today they stated on the news that the U.S. strikes back against Syria and ISIS. So something must have happened yesterday to ignite today to send
Whatever it was,
an attack.
I just saw the starting point. So in my mind, it looked like, it almost looked like when you ignite a firecracker almost, it's got that sparkly kind of light to it, on the,
Mm-hmm. And I was just thinking of lighting a fuse to a dynamite. That's weird.
okay,
That's what I saw in my head.
okay. Apparently we're in sync. All right. So that's what it looks like to me. When I see it,
So maybe that's it. Mm-hmm.
you know the beginning, the montage in the beginning of Mission Impossible, where they have that same image. Right. It almost looks like that to me.
Wow.
Like that
Crazy.
image where
Lighting that fuse. Mm-hmm.
yeah, and that's what happened. And that was the date that I saw that encompassed the the cell of the beginning of whatever this is now.
And then he's giving the military $1,771
Or 76, wasn't it?
or
I
76,
think
whatever.
yeah, he
I was
thinks
like,
he's
oh my
being
God.
cute. He thinks he's being cute with that date.
Mm-hmm.
1776.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's giving each military a
As
check.
if I'll
Mhm.
remember him for such a noble gesture. You know, I mean,
And then sending them off to World War III. You know, it's like crazy.
yeah, like here's your stipend for and thanks for your service. All right. So,
Mhm.
you know, I mean, honestly, we could talk about him all day, but let's not. And let's just talk about how that date was bothering me. All right, so we're going to keep an eye on that. I don't know exactly until I start going back in to see what it was, but that's what it looked like to me. Like it was the beginning of something where there's no going back now. Like that ignited something.
I think
It wasn't something that could be stopped, actually. That path got ignited. Whatever that was, what I saw before on that other podcast, that date will be remembered.
Yep. And I'm putting down today's date also because that's the U.S. attack strikes back at Syria and ISIS. So let's keep that in mind.
I mean, again, I try not to watch regular news because I don't know how they skew the news to whatever the agenda is. But I try to pay attention only to just my sense of is this irreparable at this point,
Right.
Is this something that can never be fixed? And I don't care about who these players are. I just care about, like, are we gonna have a planet to live on anymore? That's
exactly the scary part.
That's my thing, is that I don't care who has all the money and who has all the stocks and who has all of everything. If we can't live on the planet anymore, it won't matter.
Right. It won't make a difference.
You could have all the riches in the world, but it won't matter. So I just, my concern is let's get the good work done now so that by the time all this stuff does happen, we're at least in the right place to put it back together,
Right. You're the right teacher for that. Definitely, Carla. Thank you.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, because I have such a vision of what's coming that I don't know how long it's going to take to put it back together once they break it. I'm hoping that there are enough people that will at least make it a very short breaking of everything. Like it'll break, but they'll start repairing immediately. So
keep our fingers crossed.
The number that came into my head was 20 years. It will take 2 decades. 20 years.
Wow.
That's what's in my head right now. That's what just came in. So
I don't know. I'll be 87 in 20 years. I may be dead by then.
Well, I'm gonna need you here, Michelle. So I vote that you don't go. Okay, so all I'm saying is I'm seeing about a 20-year span will be the reparation for what's breaking, for what's breaking now. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I need to know if if anybody else wants to say anything here, because we've been going for, oh my God, we went for 2 hours this time. Again, look at us. We just can't stop talking. All right, so if that, everybody, like, I hope we covered enough on this intuition thing. I think we did. I think we sort of put it together so that you guys can make sense of it. I'm going to sign off, and I'm going to upload this to all the different platforms, and you guys can go on YouTube and say what you want about it. If you liked it, if you got something out of it, great. I'm not all into all the numbers. I don't care. I don't care about the algorithm and that whole thing. I guess I should care more, but it's more about just putting this out there, and the people that need to hear it, they'll hear it and they will come. I don't need to force this down people's throats or get certain numbers or monetize it. I just, it gets to who it needs to get to. So that's my intent. Anyway, I love you guys. It's Christmas time. Have some joy. Have some joy this Christmas. I know I do. All right. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Until next time. And we will do one next Friday. I will, because I'm going to have my day off on Monday. So I'll figure out what we're going to talk about then. Hopefully it's not the end of life as we know it here on Earth. So let's not project that. I will wish you guys Christmas tidings. And till next time. Okay. Bye-bye.